All right, buckle up, because today we're diving headfirst into the world of Python Tinker.
Yeah.
Specifically, those little UI marvels known as radio buttons.
They're everywhere.
They are everywhere.
Yeah.
If you've ever, wanted to build those really sleek, interactive graphical interfaces with Python, this deep dive is your express ticket to mastering radio buttons.
Absolutely.
We've got a fantastic resource from plus2net.com that is going to take you from what's a radio button
Love them.
to I can build that in no time.
Yeah, they make it so simple.
They really do. They break it down.
Yeah.
So speaking of real world, let's start with the basics.
Okay.
What exactly are radio buttons and why should you even care?
Okay, so picture this. You're filling out some form online, right?
Right.
And you come across a question.
Okay.
And it's got those options, like yes or no. But you can only choose one.
Right.
Or maybe you're selecting a shipping method. You've got a list of choices. Those, my friend, are radio buttons in action.
Okay. They're all about presenting the user with this set of mutually exclusive options.
Gotcha.
You pick one.
Okay.
That's your choice.
So it's like choosing your favorite ice cream flavor. You can't have them all.
Precisely.
You gotta pick.
You gotta pick one.
One flavor.
And Tkinter makes this, implementing these a breeze.
Okay.
Plus2net, they kick things off with this simple code snippet that creates a basic set of radio buttons.
Okay.
You'll see they import the Tinter library as TK.
Right.
That's our GUI toolkit.
Okay.
Then they create a window and set its size.
All right. Nothing too fancy yet.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
But here's where I think things get interesting, right?
Okay, yeah.
They introduce this idea of a shared variable for each group of radio buttons.
Yes.
In their example, it's called R1V.
Right, and that shared variable.
Yeah.
That is key because it makes sure that you can only select one radio button in that group at a time.
Good.
Think of it as the control center for those radio buttons.
Okay.
Making sure they play by the rules.
So they're all connected.
They're all connected.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've got our window,
Yep.
We've got our buttons, and we've got this shared variable,
Right.
kind of keeping everything in check.
It's like the manager making sure everybody's
Right.
doing their job.
Exactly, keeping them in line.
Yeah.
But how do we actually arrange these buttons within our window?
Oh, that's a good question.
It would be a bit of a mess if they were just scattered about, right?
You're right. Organization is key.
Yeah.
Especially when you're building user interfaces.
Yeah.
That's where the grid method comes in.
Okay.
Plus2net uses this to arrange the buttons neatly in rows and columns.
Nice.
Imagine a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Lets you place each button in a specific cell like you would with data in a spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
This keeps your interface looking clean and structured.
So it's like we're giving those radio buttons a designated spot on a virtual grid.
Exactly.
It's very efficient.
Yes, very organized.
I like it.
Now, each radio button also needs its own unique value, even though they're all connected to that same shared variable.
Hold on. Why does each button need a unique value?
That's a great question.
If they're all controlled by the same variable.
So think of it this way.
Okay.
The shared variable tells us which radio button is selected.
Okay.
The unique value assigned to that selected button tells us what the user actually chose.
So the variable is like the
Yes.
It's like the conductor pointing to the specific instrument in the orchestra.
Yes.
And the unique value is the sound that instrument makes.
A perfect analogy.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Plus2net demonstrates this using simple numerical values for each radio button in their example.
Okay.
Just to keep it straightforward.
Gotcha. Okay, so we've laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
We know how to create radio buttons. We know how to arrange them neatly.
And we know how to assign them unique values.
Yeah.
But how do we actually use this information?
Right.
How do we actually know which radio button the user has chosen?
Oh, that is where the magic of retrieving and setting values comes in.
Okay.
Plus2net shows us this handy little method called .get.
Okay.
It's like peering into that shared variable we talked about earlier, the control center, and seeing exactly which button is currently activated.
So .net is like asking the conductor which instrument is taking the solo right now.
Exactly. And it's not just about seeing what the user has selected, right?
Yeah.
We can also pre-select a radio button if we want to using the dot method. So let's say you're building an app with a settings menu.
Right.
You can use .set to load the user's previously saved preferences.
Oh, that's really cool.
So they don't have to keep selecting the same things over and over again.
It's like having your favorite coffee order memorized by the barista.
Exactly. You just walk in, you're like, 1 iced caramel macchiato.
Exactly, coming right up.
Perfect. That's exactly what I want.
And then if you need to clear all the selections,
right,
maybe to reset a form or something, you simply set the variable to none.
Okay.
And poof!
Poof.
All radio buttons go back to their unchecked state.
What?
It's like hitting a reset button on your interface.
Right, like a clear form.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's handy for
Right.
sure.
Definitely.
For situations where you want the user to start fresh.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned using strings for values earlier.
Yeah.
Does that mean we're not just limited to numbers?
You're sharp.
Haha.
Tinter gives you that flexibility.
Okay.
You can use strings like you said, yes or no,
Right.
Boolean values, true or false.
Okay.
You can even use more complex data structures,
Wow.
depending on what you need.
So this is starting to feel really powerful.
Yes.
We're not just creating simple buttons anymore. We're building dynamic interfaces.
Uh-huh.
That can capture and respond to user choices in a very nuanced way.
Precisely.
Very cool.
And Plus2Net takes it a step further
Okay.
by showing us how to make those radio buttons do something when clicked.
Okay, how do we do that?
They use this example where clicking a radio button prints the selected value to the console.
Okay, so it's like each button can shout out its choice.
Exactly.
Albeit to the console for now, but, baby steps.
Baby steps. Think of it as the foundation for building more interactive actions.
Okay.
So in a real application, instead of just printing to the console.
Right.
You could use this functionality to update other parts of your user interface.
Okay.
Perform calculations based on the selected option.
Right.
Or even trigger some external actions.
I see where you're going with this.
Yes.
So in our survey app, clicking a radio button could, I don't know,
yes.
maybe reveal a follow-up question or update a progress bar.
You got it.
That makes sense.
Now, Plus2Net also dives into some more advanced techniques. And one that I find particularly interesting is the ability to, copy states
Okay.
between groups of radio buttons.
Hold on. Copying states.
Yes.
That sounds intriguing, but I need a little clarification on how that works.
Okay, so imagine you have, 2 sets of radio buttons.
Okay.
With Tkinter, you can link them
Okay.
in a way that selecting a button in one group
Okay.
automatically updates the selection in the other group.
So it's like having a master switch
Yes, exactly.
that controls other switches simultaneously.
You got it.
Okay.
It's a very powerful concept.
That could be really useful
Yes.
for scenarios where you have dependent choices.
Exactly.
So selecting a clothing category in one group
Yes.
could then show the available sizes in another group.
Now you're thinking like a Tinter pro.
Woo, all right.
And it doesn't stop there.
Okay.
Plus2Net provides this really handy list of methods that you can use to manipulate radio buttons programmatically.
So we're getting really dump into the weeds here.
We are, but that's the fun part.
Okay.
So you can select them or deselect them directly.
Okay.
You can make them temporarily flash on the screen.
Ooh, flashing.
To grab the user's attention.
I like it.
Or even invoke their associated command.
Okay.
As if they were clicked directly by the user.
So it's like having a remote control.
Yes.
For each button. And you can be like, boop, do that.
You got it.
That's really cool.
Yes, it gives you a lot of control.
Very cool.
And let's not forget about those situations where you might need to temporarily disable certain options.
Right, because sometimes you don't want to give the user all the
control. Sometimes you need to rein it in.
Yeah, exactly.
So Tkinter has you covered there too.
Okay, good.
You can use the state option.
Okay.
To enable or disable specific radio buttons.
Okay.
Making it clear to the user when a particular choice is unavailable. Or irrelevant, maybe, based on their previous selections.
Right, this is not the time to be choosing this.
Exactly.
You got to make other choices first.
Precisely.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like putting up a closed sign.
Yes.
On a radio button,
I love that analogy.
Sorry, temporarily out of commission.
Exactly.
Right. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From basic creation to advanced manipulation.
Yes.
But what about the visual aspect?
Oh, yes.
Right. Can we spice things up a bit?
Of course.
Beyond just plain text.
You bet. Tinter understands that aesthetics matter.
Okay, good.
So it provides options
to
customize the look and feel of your radio buttons.
Excellent.
Remember, we're aiming for that. I can build that.
Yes.
Feeling.
Yes.
One way to enhance the visuals is by using bitmaps instead of plain text.
Bitmaps. So we're talking images here.
You got it.
Oh.
Instead of just having like a text label next to your radio button, you can use an image that's, more visually appealing or aligns better with your application's theme.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So think like icons, symbols, even custom graphics.
Okay, yeah, that's a great way to make the interface more engaging.
Exactly.
Especially if you're building something that needs like a really specific visual style.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got images.
Yes.
Are there other customization options?
Yeah, we're just getting started.
Okay.
If you're tired of the classic radio button look.
Right. Those little circles?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tinter lets you switch things up.
Okay.
With the indicator ronon attribute.
Indicator ronon, intriguing.
Yes, so this allows you to transform those traditional round radio buttons into a more modern push button style.
Oh, okay. So instead of those little circles, you have buttons that look like,
Yes.
Clickable squares or rectangles.
You've got it. Tinter gives you that flexibility.
Very nice. So you can choose the style that best fits your desired design aesthetic.
Exactly.
So we've gone from basic styling to like full-on makeover.
It's a radio button fashion show.
I love it. I love it.
Gotta look good.
Gotta look good, right?
Yeah.
But I have a feeling we're about to see radio buttons go from, simple UI elements to something far more powerful, right?
You read my mind.
Okay.
Plus, TwoNet wraps up their guide with this, brilliant example.
Okay.
Using radio buttons to dynamically generate parts of a SQL query.
Okay, I know we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
So let's unpack this for our listeners.
Okay.
Imagine you have a database.
Okay.
Maybe it's a, a library catalog.
Right.
Or customer database, right?
Right.
Typically, you'd write out a SQL query every time you wanted to search for something specific.
Yeah, right.
But with Tkinter.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can empower the user to build their own searches using radio buttons.
Okay.
So each button could represent a different search criteria.
Okay.
Maybe it's a year.
Okay.
A genre, a product category, right?
Right.
Anything relevant to your data.
Okay.
Clicking those buttons would actually build parts of the SQL query behind the scenes.
That's incredible.
I know, right?
It's like giving users a customized search engine.
Exactly.
Right within your app.
Yeah.
So instead of them needing to know complex query languages, they can just click on what they're interested in.
They can just click, get their results.
That's amazing.
It's very critical.
So this example, I think, really highlights the true potential of Tkinter.
Absolutely.
It's we're not just...
It's not just about looks.
Yeah, it's not just about,
It's about power.
Yeah, building pretty interfaces here.
Yeah.
We're crafting tools that can interact with databases, pull in real-time information, respond to user input.
It's like magic, but it's code.
It really is. It's like magic, but it's code.
Yeah.
And we can all learn it.
Yes.
It's out there.
It's accessible.
So for our listeners out there, think about this. What if you applied this concept to your work or hobbies?
To your own project.
What kind of cool interactive search tool could you build with Tkinter?
The possibilities are endless.
They really are.
You could build a tool to browse your personal movie collection.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Right? Or filter recipes based on dietary needs.
Oh, that's really useful.
Right?
Yeah.
Even analyze data from a science project or something.
That's amazing.
The sky's the limit.
That's a wrap on this deep dive.
Wow.
Into Python Tkinter radio buttons.
They're powerful.
Hopefully you're feeling that spark of, I can build that energy.
Get out there and build it.
Remember, the best way to learn is by doing. So
exactly.
Experiment, play with the code, and see what amazing things you can create.
And who knows? Maybe your next brilliant application. We'll start with a simple radio button.
It all starts somewhere.
It does.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
See you next time.